Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, today I'm going to be telling you about 5 of my favorite coping skills. If you're new to my channel, welcome, thank you, it's so good to have you here. My name is Devin and I make videos all about mental health and chronic illness. If you'd like to know more about me and about why I wanted to create this channel, I will leave links down below so that way you can catch up all about who I am and what my story is. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much. It is amazing to have you here. I love you all. Please make sure if you haven't already to click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that way you will always be notified when a new video has been posted. I've been really struggling with my mental health, obviously since the beginning of this pandemic, but really bad these past few days. And I wanted to make this video to kind of help those people in the same or similar situation as I'm in. Right now, things are hard for everybody. We are all struggling. And I think that, we could all use better coping skills, right? So I wanted to make this video to kind of tell you all what my favorite coping skills are. If you have any coping skills that I don't mention in here that are your favorites, leave them down in the comments below because I am always open to new ideas. We have landscapers working outside of our apartment today and I really needed to get this filmed. So I'm trying to not work when they're too loud, but I'm sorry if you can still hear them. But without further ado, let's start the list of my 5 favorite coping skills. The first coping skill that I love is journaling, and I actually have my journal right here. You can see I've been writing in it for a very long time. Well, not a very long time, but it's almost full, and I'm actually shocked because with ADHD it is very hard to actually finish a journal. So this will probably be the first journal that I have ever actually finished, and I'm really proud of myself for that. Journaling, especially for somebody with anxiety, can be so helpful. It helps me to not think about things as much when I put them down on paper. It's almost like it stops that train of thought. Once it's down, I'm like, okay, I'm good. I don't have to worry about it anymore. And it's not always that easy, but it does help. It helps a lot. It helps ease my anxiety. It also helps me try to figure out what exactly my emotions are. I sometimes have a hard time identifying my emotions or identifying why I am feeling the way that I'm feeling. I've dealt with a lot of trauma in my life, so sometimes I don't always connect the dots between what happened and my reaction. So journaling and putting it down on paper is a way for me to work through it in my head to kind of figure out my own emotions, figure out why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling, but also to, again, ease those anxieties and put everything down on paper and just kind of leave it there. It's almost like a best friend that you can talk to, but who can't judge you at all because it's an inanimate object. The second coping skill that I love, that I actually need to get into more, is art. Similar to journaling, it is a way for me to get out my emotions, get out my thoughts, and just kind of put it all on paper so that way it's not tearing at me anymore. And I have one of my art journals right here. Now, I'm not a good artist, I will say that. I'm not good at it, but I do love it, and I think it's fun, and I have fun making things colorful. I love rainbows. I have a butterfly. Like, I'm not great at it, but it helps. It really helps me. There's a painting. It helps me to get all of my emotions out, all of my feelings, but also for me, art, it's really helpful because I can put all of this anxious energy into something tangible, and afterwards I have something that may not be great, but like, I think it's cute and it's tangible and I can look at it and say, I did that. And that's really helpful for my brain to feel that validation that, oh yes, you did something, you created something, you took all of these emotions you were having and you made something. It may not be great, but to me it's beautiful. So art is very important, and you don't have to be good at it. That's another thing. People think that you have to be a great artist or really be able to express yourself perfectly through art to be able to use it as a therapeutic technique, and that is not the case. Clearly you could see I am not an artist, never have been, but it's still so helpful for me, and it's such a release of those emotions and those thoughts. That I highly, highly recommend that if you feel overwhelmed or you're a very emotional person and you don't know why you feel this way or kind of what you're dealing with, try art, see what happens, and maybe the art will tell you something about how you're actually doing. The third coping skill I'm going to talk about is what I call puppy piles. It's just cuddling your animals. There is something about that physical warmth, that physical connection, and that love that I get from my dogs, but other people get from their other animals. That is just, it physically releases a chemical in your brain that makes you feel better. It calms you down, it soothes you. It's very calming, but also just that, again, that love and that warmth means everything, everything. With my dogs, I will literally lay on the floor and have them crawl all over me, or I have a special spot in my closet, which I will get to in the next coping skill, and I will literally just say, you guys want to go cuddle? And they will run to my closet and we go in there and we cuddle together. And we just lay there and I can hold Sadie and Charlie cuddles up next to me, and it's peaceful, and it's just a moment of peace and love and home. And that physical connection is something that we are really lacking in these pandemic days. Not like I can leave the house anyways or see anybody, but even if I could, like with this pandemic, people aren't hugging or touching as much, and we as humans are very physical creatures, especially me. So I'm trying to get a little bit of that love and affection that I used to get from my friends, from my dogs. I used to be able to hug on my friends, and I have friends that, yes, I will cuddle with because I love my friends and they love me, and we just love to cuddle, so we'll just hang out and cuddle together. But we can't do that now, so I'm probably overcompensating with puppy piles. The next coping skill that I'm going to talk about, I probably use at least like every other day, and that is sensory deprivation. I get overwhelmed very, very easily, and that's a common thing in people with ADHD. We get overwhelmed by noises or touches, or really any sort of sensation can get very overwhelming very easily. And there are times where I just need to cut all of that off. So I have this spot in my closet, and I will insert footage so that way you guys know what it looks like. So this is my closet. And when you walk in, you have this bed right here, and I literally just climb down here and hang out. I have all my stuffed animals. I have more stuffed animals over here, and I got room to just lay down and cuddle up. But I have this bed set up in my closet, and there's blankets, and I have some stuffed animals, and I like to put pillows in there. And I'll just go into my closet with the light off and close the door and lay down and cuddle up in that bed. And it's safe and nothing else is going on, so my brain can calm down and focus on whatever I need to focus on, or process whatever I need to process. That happens a lot too. If I'm trying to process something, but either Jake keeps talking to me or other things keep happening and I can't process my emotions, I get very overwhelmed. So I will take some time and go to the closet and lay down in there and just be in the quiet and in the dark. So nobody's talking to me, I can't hear anything, I don't have anybody trying to touch me or anything like that. Nothing is trying to get my attention, and it is just me in the darkness with my thoughts where I can deal with it myself. And it's very good at calming me down and dealing with that very overwhelmed feeling. The last coping skill that I'm going to talk about today is grounding exercises. Now, there are so many of these that you could do, but essentially grounding exercises just bring you back to the present moment, bring you back to your physical body, and bring you out of your head and in those what if lands that anxiety and depression sometimes throw you into. One of the most common grounding exercises is just sitting there and doing deep breaths, just focusing on the breath, focusing on the body, bringing your mind and your attention back to the present moment and what your physical body is doing, as opposed to letting your mind wander. There are also specific exercises that you can do to ground yourself, and my favorite is probably the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. And I'm going to explain it here, but if I get it wrong or switch up some of the senses, I'm sorry, I'm doing this off memory. I don't have it written down. Essentially, this technique is used to get you out of your head, to stop that anxiety train that's just whoosh, what if, what if, what if, what if. Stop that and bring you into your body, bring you into your physical senses, the physical atmosphere around you, what's going on. So the first thing you do is you say out loud 5 things that you can see. I can see a motorcycle outside. I can see Sadie. I can see a pillow over there. I see a tree, and I see a picture of Charlie. After that, it is 4 things that you can feel. I currently feel the bed beneath my hip bones. I feel my hands on my knees. I feel the wind from the fan hitting my face. I feel the fabric on my shirt, on my wrist. And that's 4. The next thing is 3 things that you can hear. I can currently hear Charlie licking his lips. I can hear the fan going. And I hear Charlie snoring a little bit. Next one is 2 things that you can smell. And this may be a little hard, but if you can't actually smell anything, think of 2 or say out loud 2 of your favorite smells. Right now, I smell the wax warmer that I have going on in the living room. And one of the dogs farted, so I can smell that too. All right, and the last thing is 1 thing that you can taste. And again, if there is no taste in your mouth, think of and say out loud your favorite taste and imagine what that would be like as you say it. So, right now I can't really taste anything, so I'm just going to imagine that I'm tasting my favorite double chocolate chip cookies that I made the other day. And after that exercise, you realize that focusing on your physical sensations, what's going on around you, what you can see, feel, hear, smell, and taste, it brings you out of your head, brings you back into the moment, and then it calms you down. And once you're done, you can then go about with your day. There are also so many more grounding exercises. You can literally probably Google grounding exercises and you will come up with a bunch. So don't think that if you don't like the one that I just went over, you have to do it. There are others, just look them up. It's a great way, again, to bring yourself out of your mind and into your physical body. And those are my favorite coping skills. I use these skills all the time. Some of them I should probably use more, but all of these coping skills that I've mentioned are my favorite. They are my go-to when I am upset, when I am anxious, when I'm depressed, whatever. These are the things that I reach for. I like to think of coping skills as a toolbox, and you can only use the tools that you have. You can only use the coping skills that you know. And as you learn more skills and practice your skills, then you put more tools in your toolbox. And these are the 5 tools that I reach for the most, that I think really impact my day-to-day life and help me manage, especially in this crazy time of a pandemic. Thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world to me. If any of these coping skills really stood out to you and you're gonna try to implement them in your day-to-day life, let me know down below. Or if you have any coping skills that you use that you think I should add to my toolbox, please also leave them down in the comments below. This is the time that I tell you that if you enjoyed this video, to please smash that like button. If you want to support me, please hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You guys have no idea how much all of your comments and love and support and messages, everything, it all means so much to me, and I am so grateful. I hope you all are able to stay safe and stay sane in this crazy time that we are in, and I'll see you next time.